This is gonna be rough. Please bear with me. You can tell I've been crying. To the people who know me or know of me that will see this video, I've been trying to tell all you guys for a while now, since you know, spring of 2020, that I could hear things happening internally. Of course, that led people to think I needed my head checked, which I can understand, you know, like, I get it. I thought I needed my head checked a couple times, like, you know, you do. But this is the deal. I am a strong, strong woman, and I know myself. And the things that I experienced, they are not things that a crazy person experiences. Society may call them crazy because we've all been programmed to believe otherwise. But I know what I know about me, so whether or not my words stick for you or make sense to you, I can't. I'm done trying to make excuses for that. As with the other words that I've been trying to communicate, something wicked this way comes. The music died. Not on 4/21/2016, but actually on April 30th, 2021, at 3 minutes to midnight. Those other that other source in the world, the opposite of good, they did their ceremonies on the other evening, and I didn't realize that until today. You're probably hoping that I'll cut to the chase, but this is like one of the hardest things that I've ever done, especially doing it on tape. I'll probably cry, but I'll try not to. Just a minute. Every time I speak, I try to show proof of what I'm saying, but I can't do that right now. I'll show you after. I'm going to give you a quick rundown in case. Over the last year, well, my whole life since I've been 13 and I've been listening to Prince, I could hear his music in a way that I thought everybody heard music the same way. It wasn't just his music, it was, you know, music all around me since forever. Just the way I grew up. My dad would play music when he was mowing the lawn and couldn't even hear him. So anyway, you know, I fell in love and I heard the Prince music when I was 13 at Purple Rain, and like I said, anybody who knows me knows that this is what I said about the music. I didn't keep Prince magazines or keepsakes or anything like that. I just, you know, I went to 5 or 6 concerts. I can never remember. And I've listened intently for 37 years. Sorry, this is really hard. Anybody who has listened to Prince's music through the years would know that there's a reason, you know, that you can hear a song and it'll bring back a memory from, you know, whenever. And those memories, they last for a lifetime. Now, I'm going to try to make this snappy. When I died, July 20th of 2010, long story short, I went to these heavenly places, and I met two princes, actually. I remember more things all the time. That'll come to make sense to you shortly. When I first died, I too died of a drug overdose. It was accidental. I wasn't an addict. I was using prescription medication, and it was stolen, and I turned to heroin, and it was like the first time I used it. I passed out, I died, you know, went away. Is that a coinky-dink about Prince? You know, supposedly with all the medication. Yeah, I'm sure there's a coinky-dink in there somewhere. In fact, we talked about it when I was there, because I was like so humiliated that I was there because I, you know, had overdosed, and, you know, I'm standing there meeting the love of my life. And that probably too seems weird to you guys. But you'll understand if you listen to the whole story. Anyway, you guys, listen, I want to get to something without telling the whole story. I met him in 2010. It was July 20th of 2010. I was like, okay, I know I'm dead, and I'm standing here talking to Prince, and all these things happened. I tell it in another video somewhere else, so I'm not going to tell it here. I'm going to try a slightly different tactic so I can get myself under control and maybe help you understand a little bit more. I've always listened to the Prince music. I played it at weddings, funerals, births, baby showers, mothers, just everywhere, you know. And what I would always tell my so-called friends was, you know, if you listen to this music, it's like God is singing to you. That's what I said, you know, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that felt that. You know, I would, you know, get similar emotions when I read my Bible and, you know, different things. So, but that's what I would tell people. Is like, no genius at that level, nobody who gives that much when they play all those instruments, and, you know, is that blessed, and, you know, all the things about Prince that we knew to be true. Sorry, just a second. So, you know, like I said, I was never a big collector. I didn't, you know, I would try to stick to my Bible and love God, you know, and I knew that it said not to have idols and stuff, and you know, it was fun to look at, but I just didn't collect. And I was always pretty proud of that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people that do. It's just that I've learned a lesson recently, so pardon me as I reflect. Anyway, I'm going to cut to a video, because every time I try to make a video, they don't go anywhere because I ramble, because it's so hard. But I want to show you what started happening to me. After listening to the music, it's 37 years, whatever, and daily, all day, every day, everywhere. You know, I've lost many family members, many very close family members, and I'm familiar with the pain of grief. And it always passes, because our Creator, Hashem, has mercy on us. Anyway, this pain that I'm in is more than that. Some people will not understand why I'm saying that. Someday you will. I always have to... It was the music that actually kept me alive. I know that probably sounds, whatever. But, I had my sister for 19 years. And, my mom died 16 months later, and I was 22. I hadn't seen my dad since I was 13. I lost my niece, who was like a daughter, in 2017. This feeling is nothing new to me, but it's like rolled into, because, see, the thing is this: the music pulled me through all of that. The music, not the man, but the music. You guys, I'm gonna cry, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. So in other videos, I talked about how, life is just going along like it did for everybody, and then the spring of 2020, man, around New Year's Eve, I was feeling great, playing the keyboard, learning Prince music like nobody's business, having all these revelations, having all this phenomenal stuff happen to me. All these writings and all these things started coming to me, and I'm going to cut to some of those videos now because they're going to be very important in understanding why this all makes sense. So I'm going to talk a little bit and show you a little bit. So please hang in there. Thank you. You guys, I don't mean to offend anybody that knows me, but I can't be concerned about offending anybody at this point. I love you all, which is why I'm doing this. I'll be laughed at and ridiculed, but that's okay. I'm cool with that. I told you before, in the spring of 2020, I woke up one day and I started hearing the words COVID-19, social distancing, and they didn't seem right. They made me feel like physical feelings. That may sound weird to you guys, but what I know now is that, having been an avid reader my whole life, it was the gematria of the numbers, letters, the words that were rubbing me the wrong way, because again, having read my entire life, when I saw the words, I just knew that they didn't fit. I didn't know why. I didn't know what was happening, but needless to say, if you look it up online, some people will call it a Kundalini awakening. Some people call it getting in touch with your chakras. Yeah, it was a lot more than that, and you'll understand by the time we're done. I'm not... Listen, when I died, Prince had told me that, again, you can watch the video of how I met him and some things that we talked about if you want to see the whole thing, but I've remembered some things since then, and, you know, there's this question in the world about, you know, why are we here, you know, what are we here to do, and you know, everybody knows the song, what would you ask if you had just one question, so I asked why the world was so, you know, the way that it is, and he showed me the entire thing. He showed me everything. If you've ever read the book of Enoch, he showed me all of that, all the planets and all the things. I can't recall it like yesterday, but if I go into special places, I can remember it, some of it. Anyway, and then he told me and showed me, and I just remembered this within the last, well, today, kind of. When I told the story before, I said that I met, when I first died, that Prince had opened a door to this house and just kind of looked at me, and, you know, I said, oh, I didn't know it was you, and then he just shrugged his shoulders, turned his back, and walked away. And then later on in the life after death experience, lots and lots of things were disclosed, but this is the deal. I didn't remember any of the things until the spring of 2020, okay? Because the words COVID-19, COVID, code, okay? It's a code. And when he told me, when I died, he told me about the code. If you may have heard about the Da Vinci Code before in your life, there was a book called the Da Vinci Code. I never read it. I heard about it. I stayed away from it because I was trying to follow God. You know, I didn't try to, you know, like I said, idolize or do things that were outside of that. I tried to very much stay within those bounds. You know, sidestepping and falling down sometimes. Always getting back up. Anyway, not only did the words start freaking me out, I was compelled to do all kinds of writings that I had never done before. And when that happened, I was admittedly a bit frightened, and so I got out my Bible and my writings from 2013 when I'd had some similar, but not like this, similar things happen. And all the Bible stuff and all the studies and the Kabbalah and all this stuff started unfolding in front of my face. Like, I would go into this, I still don't know what to call it. I lovingly joke about it being a possession, because I remember now that spiritually, because I am connected to Prince Rogers Nelson, the one we know as, who is so much more than that. Because I'm connected to him, when I saw him in the life after death experience, he wasn't in his Prince form. He was in a different form. And as was I'm sure. I mean, I couldn't see myself third person, but, you know. But this is the thing. It's hard to explain because you try to relate it to things that you have seen here, that I can relate it to, that you guys might understand. But there was a movie that came out recently called Soul. If you watch it, there's like the beings that are in it. They can become one with anything, you know, give some electricity and a little bit of whatever, and they you know, they can just become one with their surroundings. You know, alien-esque, you know, alien, whatever. It's alien to us because it's just foreign, right? Alien, foreign, same thing. So the word alien is not offensive. I have to use it. Sky people, alien, I'll use them. Anyway, when I was up there, we talked, and he told me that the plan was, well, I want to show you what happened in the spring of 2020 first, just a couple of things, and then I'll bring it back to this, okay?